people, good day to all. I welcome all my dear kids to today's online live classes. I am Pushpashri, faculty of Bhat and Bhat Tutorials, and we handling general knowledge only. So, well, my dear kids, as we have already discussed in the syllabus part, we got to know how much marks are included in general knowledge, and we had got to know how many chapters are there in that particular subject, that is general knowledge. So, in that, one of the chapter is the famous personalities of the freedom movement. The peoples who have fought in the freedom movement, about them will be studying in detail in this particular chapter. So we are not going to study about each and every person. We have some of the handful of people. So we will be studying about them in this chapter. So well, let us see the thing. What are the things are included in the chapter? So the first batch, see the thing. So the first one is DADABHAI NAOROJI. So DADABHAI NAOROJI, you can see it in a picture. Who is that person? So who is the person that we are going to call him as DADABHAI NAOROJI? So when you wanted to know about him, we'll just see. So he was born on 4th September 1825. So that was the date when DADABHAI NAOROJI was born. Okay, and he born in a place which is called as Mumbai. So Mumbai is the place where the DADABHAI NAOROJI was born, and he was the first Indian to be elected to the House of Commons. So the first Indian, he is the first Indian to be elected to the House of Commons. House of Commons here is nothing but the British Parliament. He worked in the British Parliament, and he was the first Indian to be elected in the British Parliament. And he was the first Indian to demand Swaraj. So what is Swaraj? Swaraj is nothing but home rule. Home rule means one where each and everyone are having the independence. So DADABHAI NAOROJI is the first person to demand this Swaraj from the people, and he is known as the Grand Old Man of India. So this is one of the name given for DADABHAI NAOROJI, that is the Grand Old Man of India. So Grand Old Man of India, the most important question they might ask you in your exams. Who is known as the Grand Old Man of India? So on that time you have to write that DADABHAI NAOROJI is the Grand Old Man of India. And the last thing, that is the death. So he died on 30th June 1970. Okay. So this is about your DADABHAI NAOROJI. The first point tells you that when was he born and where did he born. So he born on 4th September 1825, and he born in Mumbai, that is the birthplace for him. And he was the first Indian to be elected to the House of the Commons. So House of Commons is nothing but the British Parliament. So for the British Parliament, he was the first Indian to be elected, and he just served over that. And he was the first Indian again to demand for the Swaraj. Swaraj here is nothing but the home rule, and he was known as the Grand Old Man of India. That is one of the titles we can tell. So the title given to DADABHAI NAOROJI, and we lost him on 30th June 1970. The last but not the least, he was the co-founder of Indian National Congress. So whatever the Indian National Congress party we had, so that DADABHAI NAOROJI served as a co-founder. So he was working with the founder itself. So we are going to call him as co-founder of Indian National Congress. So this is about your DADABHAI NAOROJI. And the last point, you can see that he was an academician, politician, and a trader. So how did he place a role? So he not only concentrated in the freedom movement, he also concentrated in the field of academics. What is this academics? Usually in your school you will be having academic year 2020 and 21, 2021 and 22. So this is nothing bad. The particular year, whatever the things that is going to happen, they are going to take care of that. Correct? So that we are going to call it as academician and the politician. So what is this politician? The people who usually involved in a place of politics or in a field of politics. So we are going to call them as politician. And the trader. Who is a trader? The person who is going to buy and sell the goods and services. Okay. So this is about your DADABHAI NAOROJI. So well, now we'll move on to the second one, the second personality, that is Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So Sir Balagangadhar Tilak, you can see in the picture how does he look. So one of the other way we had come across the person that is Balagangadhar Tilak. So we'll just discuss some of the points regarding him. So he was born on 23rd July 1856. So 23rd July 1856 is the date when he was born, and he born in a place of Maharashtra. Maharashtra is the place where Balagangadhar Tilak was being born. And in 1940, so this is one of the year where he served as the president for the Indian Home Rule League. Okay, so whatever the Indian Home Rule we were having, so for that league he served as a president. So he was the president for the whole Indian Home Rule League, and he was the one who gave the slogan "Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it." What is Swaraj? So as we have already discussed, Swaraj is nothing but the home rule. So when we are all having the home rule, we are the one who should have that. So according to Balagangadhar Tilak, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. So this is one of the slogan given by Sir Balagangadhar Tilak. And he was the political party at Indian National Congress. So whatever the points that we had discussed right now about DADABHAI NAOROJI, so he was also one of the co-founder for that. And here he stands as a political party. That means he was one of the political leader in that Indian National Congress. And he was known as Lokamanya Tilak. This is one of the popular title which has been given to Balagangadhar Tilak as Lokamanya Tilak. Lokamanya Tilak is one of the name which is being given to Balagangadhar Tilak. So we can call this as this is one of the title for Balagangadhar Tilak. And he was an author. So Balagangadhar Tilak was being considered as an author. So author is nothing but the person who's going to write some of the articles and all. And also he was a politician. So what this politician is going to stand for? He involved in the field of politics and a freedom fighter. So along with the freedom, he cultivated the habit of author as well as a politician. But we lost this great and famous personality on 1st August 1920. So this is the date we lost this Balagangadhar Tilak. So first point is going to tell you that when did he born? He born on 23rd July 1856, and he born in a place of Maharashtra, and he served as a president for the whole Indian Home Rule League, and he was the one person who gave the slogan "Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it." And he is one of the political party at the Indian National Congress, and he was the person who was known as Lokamanya Tilak, and he was an author, politician, as well as a freedom fighter. And but the last but not least, he is one of the famous personality, and we lost him on the 1st August 1920. So this is about your Balagangadhar Tilak. Now we'll move on to the third famous personality, that is Lala Lajpat Rai. So the Lala Lajpat Rai, one or the other way we have seen him, or we had discussed about him in our school days, or in our olden days, or by any other people when people were talking about him. So we had heard his name. So let us know in detail about him. So Lala Lajpat Rai was born on 28th January 1865. So this is the date when he was born. So Lala Lajpat Rai was born on 28th January 1865. He born in a place of Punjab. Punjab is the birthplace for Lala Lajpat Rai, and he was an author. Lala Lajpat Rai was an author, he was a politician, as well as the freedom struggler. So all these three comes under Lala Lajpat Rai. He was an author, politician, as well as a freedom struggler. And he launched the Swadeshi movement. What is the Swadeshi movement? Swadeshi movement is nothing but a freedom movement. So you are going to fight for your particular nation or a particular country. Okay. So he is the one who launched this Swadeshi movement, and he was known as Punjab Kesari. So one of the title given to him, that is Punjab Kesari, and he was also known as the Lion of Punjab. So he was the political party at Indian National Congress. He also served as what? He served as the political party in the Indian National Congress, and he was associated with the activities of Punjab National Bank. So whatever the activities was being taken care by the Punjab National Bank, he was associated with that activities. What is this associated with the activities is nothing but he was working along with them. Whatever the help that those people needed, he was working with them and he was helping those people. But we lost this great famous personality on 17th November 1928. So this is the date when we lost this particular person. So let us recall from the beginning. He born on 28th January 1865. He born in the place called Punjab. So he was an author, politician, as well as a freedom struggler. And he was the one who launched the Swadeshi movement. He was the title given to him was Punjab Kesari and the Lion of Punjab. The political party at Indian National Congress. He became the political party at the Indian National Congress, and he was associated with Punjab National Bank. So whatever the activities was going on Punjab National Bank, he was associated over there. But we lost this personality on 17th November 1928. So this is about Sir LALA Lajpat Rai. So now we'll move on to our fourth personality, that is Gopala Krishna Gokhale. So Gopala Krishna Gokhale, let us know about them first. So he born on 9th May 1866. So 9th May 1866 is the date when he was born. So that is the date when this Gopala Krishna Gokhale was born. He born in a place called Bombay. Bombay is the place where he was born. And he founded the Servants of Indian Society. So whatever the Indian society we are having, he founded the servants for those Indian society. And the next point is that Gandhiji considered him as political guru. So why? Because for Gandhiji only he was helping him in all the field of politics. So whatever the help does Gandhiji was needed, he was suggesting Gopala Krishna Gokhale. So Gopala Krishna Gokhale was considered, especially on those times, people were calling him as political guru for Gandhiji because he was the one who was giving the instruction for Gandhiji. And he was the political leader as well as a social reformer. Social reformer is nothing but the person who is going to work for the society, the person who is going to help for the society. We can call this as social activist. He was a social activist. And he is the founder of Servants of Indian Society. So whatever the Indian society that we are having, so he was the founder for that Indian Servants Society. And he was the professor as well as politician. He was not only there in the field of freedom, he was also there in the field of professor. That means he was teaching the children as well as he was involved himself in the field of politics. But we lost the famous personality on 19th February 1950. So this is the date when we lost this famous personality. So let us recall from the beginning now. He born on 9th May 1866 and he born in a place called Bombay. He founded the Servants of Indian Society and he was one of the political guru for Gandhiji. So people usually call him as political guru. And he was a social leader. That means he was a political leader as well as a social reformer. He played both the roles, and he was the founder of, he was the servant, he founder of Servants of Indian Society, and he was a politician, so as well as a professor. So, but we lost this personality on 19th February 1950. So this is about your Gopala Krishna Gokhale. Fine. Now we'll move on to the next personality, that is Rani Lakshmi Bai. So we are happy to see one of the women as a part of freedom fighter. So what is the contribution did she gave for the society? We'll just see that. She born on 21st November 1853 in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is the birthplace of Rani Lakshmi Bai, and she was born on the date of 21st November 1853. So 21st November 1853 is the date when she was born. Her childhood name was Manikarnika and later she was nicknamed as Manu. So this is one of the most important question, most important point they might ask you in your exam. So the childhood name of Rani Lakshmi Bai. So the childhood name of Rani Lakshmi Bai is Manikarnika. So Manikarnika, the short form for that we can call it as Mani. Okay. So Rani Lakshmi Bai was the queen of Maratha, ruled princely state of Jhansi. So she was the queen for the whole Maratha, for the whole Maratha dynasty or the princely state. She started ruling the whole Maratha dynasty, and also which she has named as Jhansi over there, which has been situated in the place of northern part in the India. So where people started calling her as Jhansi, and she became the queen for whole Maratha dynasty, which is in there in the northern part of the India. And she was the leading warriors of Indian first struggle for independence. So whatever the freedom fighters that we were had during that time, in that she stood as a leading warrior. That means in the top list she was there. And she founded or that she fighted for the whole freedom, for the whole first struggle for independence she fought over that. And unfortunately, on the date of 17th June 1858, the great warrior martyred her life for India's freedom. In fighting only, she lost her life, that is on 17th June 1858. So that is the death date we can call it as. But still, so how many days that she was there? She just gave the good things for the society. Okay. So again, we'll just recall, she born on 21st November 1853, that is in Uttar Pradesh. Childhood name is Manikarnika, named as Manu. And Rani Lakshmibai, she was the queen of the princely state and the warriors of India's freedom struggle also she fought. And unfortunately, she died on 17th June 1858. Okay. So now we'll move on to Rabindranath Tagore. So Rabindranath Tagore is also one of the freedom fighter who fought for the freedom in the society. So we'll just see about him. So he born on 7th May 1861 in Kolkata. Kolkata is the birthplace for Rabindranath Tagore. He born on 7th May 1861. And he was a Bengali poet. Rabindranath Tagore was considered as the Bengali poet, and he was the one who won the Nobel Prize for whatever the literature that he had written in 1930 for his poem, that is Gitanjali. Gitanjali is the poem that he has written. For that poem, he had won the Nobel Prize, and he composed the national anthem of India. So as we all know, Rabindranath Tagore is the one who composed the national anthem. And he founded his school Shantiniketan near Bolpur, that is in West Bengal, in 1901. So he not only concentrated on the freedom, he also concentrated on the education of children, and he constructed one school, that is Shantiniketan school, which is there near Bolpur, which is in West Bengal. And this school was been constructed in the year 1901. And he was known as Gurudev. Gurudev is one of the name given for Rabindranath Tagore, and he was the one who won the Nobel Prize for the literature, whatever that he had written. So the literature was being written by him on 1930. So he won the Nobel Prize for the literature, which has been written by him on 1930. But we lost him on 1941, that is on 7th August. 7th August 1941 is the date when we lost this great personality, that is Rabindranath Tagore. So we'll just recall it once. He born on 7th May 1861, which is in Kolkata. He was one of the Bengali poets, and he won one of the Nobel Prize for the literature that he has written in 1913 for one of his famous poem, that is Gitanjali. And he was the person who composed the national anthem for India. And he is the one who founded the school for children. The school name is Shantiniketan, which is in Bolpur, which has been located in West Bengal. So the school was constructed, or the school was founded in the year 1901. Then another name for Rabindranath Tagore is Gurudev, and this particular famous personality won the Nobel Prize for his literature in 1930, but we lost him on the date of 7th August 1941. So this is about your Rabindranath Tagore. Okay, next we'll move on to Jawaharlal Nehru. So the Nehru ji, the most famous and the favorite person for all the children, we can call this as correct. So let's just learn about him. So he was born on 14th November 1889. That day is celebrated as the Children's Day. So you all know this Children's Day, people will be waiting for it. So the birth date of Jawaharlal Nehru is considered as the Children's Day, that is on 14th November. He was the Prime Minister of Indian Independent India. So he was one of the first Prime Minister. He was the first person to become the Prime Minister for the India. And he was known as Chacha Nehru. The famous name given for him was Chacha Nehru. Chacha Nehru is the name given for Jawaharlal Nehru. The famous slogan given by him include Aham Aram Hai Purna Swaraj and Who Leads Us NGR Dies. So this is the slogan given by him. Aram Aram Hai Purna Swaraj and Who Leads Us NGR Dies. This is one of the slogans. These are the three slogans given by him. And the political party at Indian National Congress. That means he did not stood as a political party. He stood as a part of it. That means as a helping part, he was there with those people. But we just lost him on 27th May 1964. We lost the famous personality on 27th May 1964. So this is about your Jawaharlal Nehru. The first point is born on 14 November 1889. That day is celebrated as the Children's Day, and he served as the first Prime Minister for the whole India, and he was known as Chacha Nehru. And the famous slogans, the three famous slogans given by him was Aram Aham Hai, Purna Swaraj, and Who Leads Us India Dies. And he was one of the political party at the Indian National Congress, but we lost him on the date of 27th May 1964. So this is about your Jawaharlal Nehru. Fine. We'll move to the next personality, that is Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh is one of the famous personalities we have usually seen him. So his face only tells you he was the one who was very bold, having a confidence about the work that he is going to do, and the face is going to tell that whatever the risk might be, he is ready to take it for the country. We can see that in his face. Exactly right. Come on, let's just see the points of him. So he born on 20th September 1907. 20th September 1907 is the date when Bhagat Singh was being born, and he was known as Shahid Bhagat Singh, Prince of Marathas, and Shahid-e-Assam. These are the three famous names which was being given to him, that is Shahid Bhagat Singh, Prince of Marathas, and Shahid-e-Assam. And one of the famous slogan given by the Bhagat Singh is Inquilab Zindabad. Inquilab Zindabad is one of the slogan given by Bhagat Singh. And on 8th April 1929, is been accompanied by Bhutakeshwar Dutt. He threw the bomb into Central Assembly chamber. So Bhutakeshwar Dutt is one of the person. He was the one who threw this bomb for the Central Assembly chamber of the British. So with them, even Bhagat Singh was there. He participated in the freedom independence movement, in that accompanied also. But for that accompanied thing, Bhutakeshwar Dutt, Sukhdev, Rajguru, Bhagat Singh. So these people was being hanged by the British Parliament or the British government on 23rd March 1931. Okay, so this is about your Bhagat Singh. So we'll just recall once. He born on 28th September 1907. He was known as Shahid-e-Singh, Prince of Marathas, Shahid-e-Assam, and he was the one who gave the slogan, that is Inquilab Zindabad. And with the Bhutakeshwar Dutt, he was accompanied just to throw the bomb on the Central Assembly chamber of the British, and he participated in Indian independence movement. And Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Rajguru, three of them were being hanged by the British Parliament on 23rd March 1931. So this is about your Bhagat Singh. So now we'll know about Mangal Pandey. Mangal Pandey, you can see here, the picture isn't stamped. You can ask me, man, why is this? Once we study about him, you will get to know why the picture is there in the stamp. So who was the person who born on 19th July 1827? 19th July 1827 is the birth date of Mangal Pandey, and he was the sepoy, or we can call it as Sipahi, in the 34th Bengal Native Infantry. Bengal Native Infantry is one of the name of an army of the which has been there in the Bengal. It is the regiment of the British East India Company. So this is one of the Sipahi gang which has been formed by the British East India Company. In that, he was also one of the Indian Sipahi over that. He is an Indian soldier who attacked on the British officers on March 29, 1857 was the first major incident which came to known as NGN or Sepoy. So the first Indian soldier to attack on the British, that is Mangal Pandey. So that's the reason we are going to call him as Indian or Sepoy. His commemorative postage stamp image has been issued by the Indian government. So because of the things that he has done for the India, that's the reason what Indian government thought, posting his name or posting his picture on the stamp and issuing it. So that's the reason on the stamp the photo of the Mangal Pandey is there. And he was an Indian independence fighter for the whole India. He is a scout, but unfortunately the British government only hanged him on 8th April 1857. So on 8th April 1857, the British government hanged his ghost. Okay? So we'll just recall once, he born on 9th July 1827. He was a sepoy, or we can call it as Sipahi, in 34th Bengal Infantry, that is of the regiment of the British East India Company. And he was an Indian soldier who attacked on the British officer first, that is on March 29, 1857, and then he became Indian, or he became the sepoy over there. And later, because of the things that he has given for Indian government, based on that, what the Indian government did. So Indian government start putting his pics on the stamp and issued for the people. But whatever the attack he did for the parliament, the British parliament, so British took a revenge against that and hanged him on 8th April 1857. So on that time, Mangal Pandey, we all the Indians lost the Mangal Pandey. So this is about your Mangal Pandey. The most famous person and the most favored person, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. You all know well about him, but we'll discuss once. He born on 2nd October 1869 in the place of Porbandar, and he is the one who followed the practice of ahimsa. Ahimsa here is nothing but non-violence to get his demands made. So whatever the demands that the people want, he wanted to make that demands, and so that's the reason he practiced ahimsa. Ahimsa here is nothing but non-violence. He was the leading figure responsible for Indian independence. So we have so many of the people who fought for independence, but the first name which comes to our mind, that is Karamchand Gandhi. He also fought against social evils in the society like untouchability. So during those days, untouchability was there in practice. People used to practice this untouchability, but on that time, he started fighting against this social evils. He started fighting against the untouchability. Untouchability is one of the social evils. And he was the one who gave the slogans. The famous slogans are here, that is Quit India, Do or Die, Hate Sin, Not the Sinner, Truth and Non-Violence are my God. Quit India means leave the India and go. That is given for the British. Do or die, whether you have to fight for the freedom or you have to die in the freedom moment. Hate sin, not the sinner. Hate the mistake, but not the person who done this mistake. Mistake, unfortunately, you will do, right? So without knowing, you're going to commit. So that's the reason you should not hate the sinner. Hate the sinner. Wait, you have to hate the sin. And truth and non-violence are my God. Always you have to tell the truth. Satyameva Jayate. So next, he was known as the popular names for Gandhiji, for Babu, Mahatma, Gandhiji, and the father of the nation. So one of the famous names given to him. But we lost this famous personality on 30th January 1948. So this is the day when we lost the famous personality. So he born on 2nd October 1869, that is in Porbandar. The person, he is the one who practiced the ahimsa and the non-violence, and he is one of the leading figure in the Indian independence, and he fought against the social evils like untouchability, racial discrimination, everything. One of some of the slogans given by him: "Do or die, quit India, hate sin, not the sinner, truth and non-violence are my God." And famous names of him are Babu, Mahatma, Gandhiji, and the father of the nation. But we lost him on 30th January 1948. So this is about your Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Okay, now I'll discuss about Subhas Chandra Bose. Now, who is Subhas Chandra Bose? Can see, we have all seen him, right? We'll discuss about him now. He born on 23rd January 1897. So 1897, 23rd January is the date when the Subhas Chandra Bose was born. He started the Indian National Army. So he was the person who started this Indian National Army. He fight for the independence from the British. So whatever the independence that India was needed, so he was also one who fought against that independence. The famous name for him was Netaji. So the another word people were calling him as Netaji, and he was one of the leading leader in the Indian National Congress, and he also participated in Indian nationalism. So in Indian nationalism also he participated. Some of the slogans given by him are "Really Chalo," "Jai Hind," "Give me blood and I shall give you freedom." So these are the slogans given by him. But we lost him on 18th August 1945. So this is about your Subhas Chandra Bose. Let us discuss once. He born on 23rd January 1897. He started Indian National Army. A group of people was there. With them, he started this Indian National Army. And he was also one of the person who fought for the independence from the British. He fought for the freedom. And he, one of the famous name given for him was Netaji. People were calling him as Netaji. And he was one of the leaders. He was stood as one of the political party in the Indian National Congress. He participated in Indian nationalism. Whatever the Indian nationalism we had, there he stood. There his person was also being that. And some of the slogans given by him: "Dili Chalo," "Jai Hind," "Give me blood, I shall give you freedom." So give me blood, I shall give you the freedom. That was British. That means if British people give us the blood, that means if they surrender their life, we can give the freedom for them. Correct. So this is one of the slogans given by Subhas Chandra Bose, and he died on 18th August 1945. So this is about your Subhas Chandra Bose. Now we'll learn about Bhimrao Ambedkar, one of the famous personality, the best personality I can call him as. Based one of my most favorite person, that is B.R. Ambedkar. You all have seen him. We'll discuss about him. He was the one who born on 14th April 1891. He born in the place of Madhya Pradesh. He was popularly known as Baba Sahib. People used to call him Baba or Baba Sahib. This is one of the popular names given to him. He was the independent. He was independent, India's first law minister. The person who framed the law. What is this law? Law is nothing but the rules and regulations. How the rules and regulation? So before untouchability was there, people were practicing so many racial discrimination, and education was not there properly for the children. This is the person who implemented some of the new rules and gave the freedom in all the fields. And he awarded Bharat Ratna in 1990. He was a politician as well as a social reformer who worked for the society. He was known as father of Indian Constitution. He was the person who wrote the Constitution. So whatever the rules that we are following, it's all based on the Constitution only. So whatever the freedom that you people are using, it is all based on Constitution. So when we move on to Indian Constitution chapter, we'll be knowing about it. Okay? But we lost him on 6th December 1956. Okay? This is one of the date when we lost. So we'll just recall once. He born on 14th April 1891. He born in the place of Madhya Pradesh. He is popularly known as Baba Sahib. Baba Sahib is one of the name given for him, and he was the independent first law minister I can call, and Bharat Ratna was been awarded for him in 1990. He was a politician as well as he was a social reformer. He was known as the father of Indian Constitution, but we lost him on the December 1956. It's about your B.R. Ambedkar, that is B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, so now we'll move on to the second woman who fought for the Indian freedom, that is Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu, you have all have heard about her, so we'll know about her. So she was the one who born on 13th February 1879. So this is the date when she born. She born in the place of Hyderabad. She was one of the political activists who was there in the field of politics, as well as she was a poet writer. She used to write the poems, only the poems. And she was the political party at Indian National Congress. Whatever the Indian National Congress was being formed, there she stood as one of the political party. And she was the first woman who participated in India's freedom struggle. So whatever the freedom struggle was been happening, she was the first woman to participate in that. So we are happy to see the woman over there, and she is the first woman to participate over that. And she was known as Nightingale of India. So one of the popular name given to her as Nightingale of India, but we lost her on 2nd March 1949. So 2nd March 1949 is the date when she lost this, when we lost this famous personality. So we'll just recall it. She was the one who born on 13th February 1879. She was the one who born in the Hyderabad. She was a political activist as well as a poet writer. She was one of the political party at Indian National Congress, and she was the first woman to participate in India's freedom struggle, and she was known as Nightingale of India, but she died on 2nd March 1949. So this is about your Sarojini Naidu. Okay, now we'll know about Annie Besant. Annie Besant, who is this Annie Besant? She was the one. So you can see her like a British person, but still she was the one who fought for India's freedom. We'll get to know about her. She was the one who born on 1st October 1847. She was the one who born in London. London is the birthplace of her. And she started home rule movement in India. Whatever the home rule was there in India, she was the one who started that home rule in the India. And she was the women's right activist as well as a writer as well as an orator. Orator is nothing but the person, whatever the thing that she is going to write, she is going to orate that, she is going to tell that how the things are going to happen. Okay? And she was a women's right activist. She was the one who took, who helped the women in their education. Okay? And she participated in India's independence movement. The same points is repeated. She was the one who founded the Theosophical Society in India with its headquarters. Theosophical Society, all the issues relating to India. If any issues was happening, people used to go there to solve that matter. Okay? So, but we lost her on 20th September 1930. So we'll just recall once. She born on 1st October 1847. She born in the place of London. She started the home rule movement in India, and she was the one who served as a women right activist as well as a writer and orator. And she participated in Indian independence movement. She was the one who founded Theosophical Society for the India, and that headquarters is located in Madras. But he lost her on 20th September 1930. Now we'll know about the next personality, that is about Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He is this person named as Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He was the one who born on 22nd May 1772. So 22nd May 1772 is the date when he was born, and he born in the place of Bengal. Bengal is the place where he was being born, and he was the religious, social, educationist reformer. So he was a social educationist reformer, and he was one who founded this Brahma Samaj, and he abolished the practice of sati. So as soon as the person or a husband dies, what happens? Usually the lady, the woman, the wife of that particular husband, has to jump onto the fire. This is the practice of sati in the olden days. But he is the one who abolished that system, and he was the one who is known as the father of Indian Renaissance. He was also known as the herald of new age, one of the new name given to him, that is the herald of new age. But we also lost this famous personality on 27th September 1833. So we'll just recall once. He born on 22nd May 1772. He born in the place of Bengal. He was a religious, social, as well as an educationist reformer. He was one of the founder of Brahma Samaj, and he was the one who abolished the practice of sati system. He was the one who was known as father of Indian Renaissance. He was known as the herald of the new age, but we lost him on 27th September 1833. So this is about your Rajaram Mohan Rai. Now I'll move on to the next person, that is Dayananda Saraswati. So this is the person, his name is Dayananda Saraswati. So he was the one who born on 12th February 1824. He born in the place of Gujarat. He was the one who encouraged the female education. As you all know, during that time, the people were not supporting for the female education, but he was the one who encouraged us. And he condemned the customs which are degrading the value of women. Some people were degrading the values of women. Women can't do that. Women should not do that. Women should not do that. Women should not do this. But he was the one who stood beside the woman and made the woman to come up in the society. He was the one who founded the Arya Samaj, the founder of Arya Samaj, and he has written philosophy in Vedic language. So that Vedic language philosophy is the famous philosophy now. And he worked towards Vedic ideologies, whatever the ideas that the Vedic people were had. So he was the one who supported them. And he was the one who gave the call for Swaraj as India for Indians. He said that India is meant for Indians only. But we also lost him on 30th October 1833. So this is about your Dayananda Saraswati. He born on 12th February 1824. He born in the place of Gujarat. He was the one who encouraged the female education. He condemned the customs which was degrading the values of women. He was the one who founded the Arya Samaj, and he was written philosophy in the Vedic language. He worked towards the Vedic ideologies, whatever the ideas they were having. He was the one who helped them, and he was the one who named or who gave the call that India is there for Indians. But we lost him on 30th October 1833. So this is about your Dayananda Saraswati. So now we'll move on to the next person, that is Madan Mohan Malaviya. So Madan Mohan Malaviya, this is the person. He is also one of the freedom fighter and the greatest personality. We'll know about him. He was the one who born on 25th December 1861. So 25th December 1861 is the date when he was born. And he born in the place of Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is the place where he was born. And he was an educationist, politician, as well as a journalist. Journalist is nothing but what are the things that are going on in the society. He was the one who is taking care of that. He was a lawyer, so also he was one of the lawyer. He was awarded Bharat Ratna in 2015, and he is the one who founded BHU, that is Banaras Hindu University at Varanasi. And he was the one, the famous name given for him was Mahamana. Okay, and he was the political party at Indian National Congress, the same point, but he died on 12th November 1946. Madan Mohan Malaviya. Next we'll move on to Syed Ahmad Khan. Syed Ahmad Khan. So we'll know about him. He is the person. He was the one who born on 17th October 1870. He born in the place of Delhi. So another name called for him as Sir Syed. Sir Syed, it's most important question. Sir Syed is one of the another name who has been called for Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. He was the one who established MAO, that is Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, one of the college he has established, and this college is later become university, that is Aligarh Muslim University. He was the one who opposed ignorance, superstitions. It's nothing but black magic and all. Evil's custom is nothing but like we can call it as superstitions, what people used to tell that people can't do this, women can't go there, untouchability, racial discrimination, that comes under evil customs. And he was the one who prevalented in the Muslim society. Usually in the Muslim society all these things will happen, but he was the one who opposed all those things, and he awarded the Star of India, the most award given for him, but we lost him on 27th March 1890. So this is about your Syed Ahmad Khan, who is just know once. So born on 17th October, that is in Delhi. Another name is Sir Syed. So he founded the college, that is MAO College, Mohammedan Anglo Oriental College. So that college later became university, that is Aligarh University. So he was the one who opposed superstitions, and he awarded Star of India, but we lost him on 27th March. Okay, students, this is about your first chapter, that is about famous personalities of Indian independence. So if you have any doubt, you can contact you, and thank you for attending the session.